of manifesting my vision, which I had the original vision for this event, and so you are contributing to the fruition of my vision. My name is Stephen Dinan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shift Network, and I believe that we have all been called here on a mission to truly change this world, to evolve us to another level. And I'm going to share a bit more about how this conference can do that in these few days and beyond. But first I want to bring up a truly extraordinary visionary. Her name is Clare Dubois, and she is somebody who has become a voice for the trees on this planet and a voice for the healing of our world by the planting of trees. She had a near-death experience in which she was told that she needed to lead the reforestation of the tropics in a decade. And I love when people say yes to big, bold, audacious visions and downloads like that. And she has created a magnificent organization called Tree Sisters that pairs women's empowerment and planting trees. And they're planting 2 million trees a year, and you all are planting trees by being here. We're planting 10 trees for every single person in this conference through Tree Sisters. So this room is not just a room of people, this is a forest that we're creating through the magnificence of Clare Dubois. So let's welcome her to the stage. Clare Dubois, give a big round, really give it up for her. She's at the front lines, calling in the healing of this world.
Gosh, I can't see anybody. Are you out there? I know you're out there. Oh yeah, there you are. It's not a fun thing when life gives you a role like that. And it's not as if one really gets a choice either. And actually, if you're alive at this time, then I think we're all here for a reason. And it's possibly one of the most important and outrageous times to be alive on this planet. And so that gives us permission to be completely outrageous. And in fact, if we're not being completely outrageous, if eyebrows aren't raising, oh my God, that's so bright. If eyebrows aren't raising, we're not doing our job. So, I want to thank Stephen for daring to put a completely jet-lagged environmentalist onto the stage on Climate Strike Day. He's very brave. My body, or most of me, is suspended still halfway across the Atlantic right now. So the bit of me that's here wants to say thank you to Stephen, thank you to everybody that's come, thank you to everything that it takes to put on an event like this. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. And I think we should start with a really ancient yogic practice called an arse wiggle. Because now is not a time to be serious. Now is a time to take things seriously, but to do it with as much outrageousness as we possibly can. If we are going to collapse into fear around what's going on, then we are letting the next generation down. It's not an option. We are here to do everything we can to ensure that our species turns a corner, and it's a really big corner. And if we're here now, something of the essence of what's needed is encoded in every single one of us, because why else are we here? Why else would we choose to incarnate now, unless we hold something? And our job over these next few days is to activate that something, is to know that we're encoded, and our responsibility is to let it loose, is to find what it takes to get that thing moving that calls us back to our absolute essential nature. That nature of us that knows itself as part of nature, that knows that we're not here to destroy, that knows that we can make that huge 180 from a consumer species to a restorer species. It's in us. It has to be, because our ancestors didn't toil for us to go out on shopping. So, are you up for a seriously good arse wiggle? Requires being on 2 feet. It's designed to be pleasurable. It's supposed to be ridiculous, and if your backside doesn't actually slap together, you're not trying. So, come on, needs a sound. Harder. Come on. Soft knees, So please, your belly should be quivering, your breasts should be jiggling, your buttocks should be slapping audibly. Come on, find the pleasure in there. Everything jiggling. Okay. And then feel your body, feel that energy. This is tilling the soil. We're tilling the soil because every speaker from here on in is planting seeds. We want those seeds to have somewhere to go. That also requires your body to be available. If you start to go, waggle your arms. If that doesn't work, waggle someone else's. Now, as you go to sit down, let's have some like, oh my God, my backside is so gorgeous. It's just so amazing. And then you're going to come down and you're going to meet your chair as if you're discovering your backside for the first time. And you're going to groan. And you're just going to go, oh my God, my backside is so amazing. And you're going to let gravity have you. Let gravity have you to say, oh, gravity, have me, I'm all yours. And then remember that this is Mother, that you are made of Mother, that you are made of Gaia, that she is calling you down, not just with gravity, but into intimacy with her. If we were in a state of intimacy with our planet, we would simply not be able to harm her. We would not be able to do anything that we're doing. We wouldn't be able to take without giving back. That would not be our reality. And yet, that is the conscious momentum that we have been inside for how long? So it's been normalized. Taking has been normalized. It's abnormal. Our current state is abnormal. We have an economy that requires the death of nature in order to survive. It can't go on. There is going to have to be a complete collapse, and the kids out there are screaming for it. I want to share a story. A couple of years ago, I was driving through Colorado. I was driving for 10 hours. 5 of those hours, I didn't see a tree that was healthy. In fact, everything I saw was either dead or dying. Mountainsides of aspen trees, dead. Mountainsides of every species of tree I could see, dead. I was freaking out in the car. I was texting people. I was Facebooking. I was like sending photographs. Does everybody know this is happening? Why is everybody driving through this land and just keeping going on? And back came all these photographs from all the way up the Rocky Mountain chain, all the states saying, it's worse here, it's worse there. And I was just going, oh my God, right now, the Rocky Mountain forest is dying. What am I going to do about it? And I'm crying in the car, and the guy sitting next to me is like, let's put on some comedy, let's get you laughing. And I'm like, are you fucking nuts? Like, you want me to look away from what's happening? It is not an option. How do I meet this? How do we all meet this? How do we stop looking away? How do we arrange ourselves to actually be fully present to what's happening and invoke the utter brilliance that is in here? I got to the airport. I was a basket case. If you're English, that means you're losing it. And I got on the airplane, and I'm literally sitting on the aisle, head in my hands, and I'm sobbing. Like, I was in pieces. And I looked up, and on the other side of the aisle was Barbara Marx Hubbard, asleep. And I was just like, Barbara, wake up. Barbara, wake up. Like, you can't ask an 86-year-old to wake up. I was just like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And suddenly this hand like grabs me across the aisle. She was like, Claire. And I was like, Barbara. And she was like, you know what this is? And I'm like, what? And she said, this is divine timing. This is divine timing. And then she notices that I'm like howling my eyes out. She was like, what's wrong? I said, I can't cope. I can't do it. I can't drive for 5 hours through a landscape. I'm going to cry. I can't sit with the agony of what's going on in this world. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. It's like, tell me what to do. Like, I can't keep going. I can't take this on. And she just said, Claire, you have to find your intimacy with the evolutionary impulse. You have to find your intimacy with the evolutionary impulse. And it was like one of those Barbara Marx Hubbard moments of like lightning strikes. And my whole consciousness was like, and I went out and out and out and realized, my God, I'm taking everything personally. What is the evolutionary impulse? What is this energy that is holding it all? What is this greater intelligence of which we are all part that is living in every cell of our beings? What is that? What is holding the show? What is my role in that bigger picture? And then, what actually am I? I don't know what I am. If we're going to invoke brilliance, first point, forget that you think you know anything about anything. Forget what it even means to be a human, because quite frankly, what we've been taught is not it. This is not what it means to be a human. There is something else here that has infinite humility and infinite power, and it's power through nature, not power over nature. It's power through deepest intimacy with not just the evolutionary impulse, whatever that meant for Barbara, whatever that means for each of us. The isness, the beingness, the living, creative essence of our universe that is completely limitless, that we are part of, that is in every one of our cells, that we cannot not experience if we listen. And then what? Well, what are you made of? I am this planet walking around talking. Every part of me is every part of her. The water in my blood was in the blood of the dinosaurs. There is no more water on this planet now than there was back then, and water carries memory. But we're also fire and rock and grass and soil. We're made of it all. And she is infinitely brilliant and infinitely creative, and she wastes nothing, and she supports everything. And that is what we are made of. And our so-called junk DNA, our junk DNA just happens to be the DNA of every other living species on this planet. What does that mean? That means we have access to every intelligence on this planet, should we have any desire to move beyond this bizarre state of separation and into a place of conscious communion. How would it be to be in a state of conscious communion? How would it be in this moment to just sit there and go, you know what? I don't know what I am. The moment we think we know something, our mind closes. The moment we open to not knowing, we become available to something else. What if the breath of the trees, the light of the stars, the infinite intelligence of the cosmos was right here waiting for us to go, oh, what's here? What if a miraculous level of intelligence was right here, waiting for us to become aware of it, so that we could log on, so that the miraculous levels of intelligence could actually start to pass into us, and we could start to call forth a completely different quality of intelligence? What if opening in humility is the difference between carrying on as we've been and awakening that encoded, amazing, humble brilliance inside each and every one of us that is longing to be expressed, longing to be radical, longing to be unhinged and unchained and not caring whether we're too much. There's no such thing as too much anymore. There's only, we need all of you, all of every single one of you. And therefore, inside of these next few days, you have an opportunity when you stand in front of another person to let them be a tuning fork for your brilliance, to look at them, not with these, not this, but this. What in you and what in me can come alive in this moment, because this is the only time in our lives that we will be right in front of each other, giving each other permission to move beyond that social that we do into who's here? What is this? What is this third thing that is the combination of us? What could be wanting to happen that has gathered us here together? This constellation of us is only here in this form right now, in all of time. This is it. What are we going to do with it? Can we open to it? I've got 1 minute left. Can we open to it? Can we bow to it? Can we waggle with it? Can we dance with it? Can we say, hell yes, I'm available. I am available. Let's have it. I am available. And more than that, I am in league with the cosmos. I am in league with the cosmos. I am an unlimited being. I am a limitless being. I am here to discover my capacity for love. I'm here to discover just how generous I can be. I'm here to be an awakener for everybody that I come to. I'm here to bow before the mystery that I am and discover myself anew in every single moment. I'm here because this moment is calling us to wake up. It's calling us to be the change. It's calling us to say to our children, I'm giving it all I've got to provide you a future. And our planet is worthy of that, and our species that we're losing are worthy of that. And you have all of me. And you have all of me. Thank you.